Data cleaning is such an important skill whether you want to work as a data analyst, as a data scientist, or a data engineer. It is all the time the initial step to perform any task with any data. And so in today's video, I want to show you an end-to-end process to clean our data using SQL in the same way a data professional would do in real life. And so by the end of this video, you will learn, first of all, the main data cleaning techniques that you can implement in your project and work with data. Second thing, you're gonna see SQL, so you can review the main SQL techniques to clean data from a beginner level, but also we're going all the way to advanced level as well. And number three, I will try to make it as raw as possible. So it's not gonna be a clean tutorial, but I will likely encounter errors. And so I will need to debug those errors. And so I will also show you a real thought process of a data professional like myself. And this is exactly what we do in the workplace as well. And also as a bonus, I will use data platforms that are used in real work scenarios. So I'm not gonna use, free tools that you can find online that are not really mimicking what's happening in the workplace. I'm going to use exactly the tools that data professionals use today in companies out there. And by the way, if you are interested in a career in data analytics and AI, make sure to check out my Analytics and Automation Academy. It's a 6-week program where we cover all the main skill set for data analytics, which are Excel, SQL, Tableau, and Python. We go from beginner to advanced level. We build together projects. We also cover domain expertise, which is crucial for your day-to-day in the actual job. And I also teach you how to build your own AI agents, which is another skill set that is booming right now. Applications are now open, and I will only select a few amount of people because I want to follow you on a one-to-one basis until you land a job. So if you're interested, make sure to check it out in the video description down below. And without further ado, let's start by cleaning our data with SQL. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to show you is definitely the setup for our project today. So what you see now in my screen is Google BigQuery. It's a database offered by Google. It's completely for free. But the important thing to notice is that this is definitely a database that is used by so many companies out there. So it's pretty much an environment that resembles what it's happening really on in the workplace scenario. What you see here, I open Google Cloud, and then inside BigQuery, I'm in the studio. And obviously we need some data to work with. So I created this project called Analytics and Automation Academy. And inside here, I created the SQL practice dataset. And inside this dataset, I have a customer order table. And this is the table that we're going to use. In case you wonder how I created this data, this is actually synthetic data. Synthetic data simply means is artificial data that I created from scratch using, in this case, using a Python code. If you're interested about this stuff, like how you can create data randomly from scratch to use in your projects, I can definitely make a video on that. So make sure to leave a comment in case you're interested in that. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you what's inside this data that I created. So in Google BigQuery, the cool part of it is that I can click on these 3 dots. I can click on query, and automatically it generates my first SQL query. In this case, I'm just going to add the asterisk so that I can show you exactly what we have in this table. So select all from Analytics Automation Academy.SQL practice.customer order. I can actually remove the limit 10. I don't really mind that one as well. And if I run this query, this is exactly what we see in this table. I'm just going to make it bigger, but this is our table, the customer orders. We have order IDs, customer name, email, order date, product name, quantity, price, country, order status, and notes. So this is the data set that we are gonna work on together today. Okay, so now that we are more familiar with the data, I want to start with an easy one. So as you can see here, the order status column has actually different formats. We have delivered here with only capital letter, or we have the instance where delivered is lowercase, or actually all capital letter as well. So obviously this is something that might be problematic in our data, and we want to find a way to fix this. So this will be our first task. So standardize the order status column. So the first thing, I'm just gonna copy this query here. So I'm going to, instead of select all, I'm going to select the order status column just so that we are working with the order status. So this is the column that we are interested in. And then what I want to do here is actually creating a new version of this column, which will be clean. And so in this case, I'm going to do a case statement with when. And follow me here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a lower, and then I'm going to select the order status. And when the order status like, and then I'm going to do percentage sign and then deliver in lowercase, and then another percentage sign. I'm going to explain this in just a second. So it's deliver. Then I'm going to call this deliver. That's a final kind of order status value that I'm looking for. So basically here I'm saying, okay, because we have different formats here, let's actually put the order status all in lowercase. So that's what I do with the lower function. And then I'm going to do, okay, if the order status is basically has deliver in the string, it doesn't matter how it starts or it ends, I just need deliver. Then I'm going to call this value deliver. So that's kind of the logic here. And I'm going to do the same also for the other values that I see here. So let me do that quickly for the other values. Okay, so I just pasted the other values. So return refunded pending shipped. And then in the case statement, I also need to add the else statement at the end. So if I don't see any of the occurrences above, then I want to see the value other. So that's going to be the else in my statement. And then in the case statement, all the time, remember that you need to close it with the end. And actually, I also want to rename the column name. So I'm going to do clean, let's say, yeah, let's call it cleaned order status. And so this is going to be my first query that I can run to basically see a new order status field that I created myself in a clean version. And so as you can see here, delivered became deliver. So actually I think I'm missing the ed here. So let me quickly correct and rerun this one as well. As you can see here, now the clean order status is a clean version of the order status original column. So that's one thing to standardize our columns. If I now select again the original table, if you want to practice exactly what I've done here for the order status, you can actually use the product name and do pretty much the same. So in here, I'm going to do two. So standardize the product name, the field, and then I'm going to paste the code in here. Again, you can check what I've done here, but it's pretty much the same thing. So I lower the product name, and then in this case, Apple Watch, this is kind of the final status as well. And pretty much the same logic here. Then I have the else other, and this new column, I'm going to call it clean product name. So exactly the same logic applied to the product name as well. One more thing that I noticed is actually on the column quantity. So I see that we have numbers pretty much everywhere, apart from these two, that for some case it's a string and not a number. So that's probably something that we can clean as well. So let me grab this one. I'm going to do 3. Clean the quantity field. And so what can we do in here is probably again another case statement. So actually, let me grab this so that I can work with something already. So I don't need all of this part here. And actually what I'm going to do here is I have the quantity field. So I'm just going to do when lower quantity is actually equal, because we have only one occurrence of 2, I'm going to do equal 2. Then this one will be equal to 2, right? So I just change the string into a number. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Else, what I'm doing here actually is that I want to make sure that all this column here will be the data type integer, because obviously the quantity, we don't want decimals, we just want integers as well. So one way to do this is to cast the quantity field as, and then here I'm going to put my data type. In Google BigQuery, we have integer 64. So that's kind of the the way, and actually I think it's not gonna work because I need to put the parentheses at the end like this. And as always, I end the case statement, and I will end as, let's do clean quantity like this. So let's try to see if this is gonna work. Okay, so this is working, and what I've done is I'm selecting all the columns, so everything stays the same, but then actually we have the clean quantity, and as you can see here, the 2 that I had here became 2, and everything else now is an integer as we wanted. So that's also another way that we use to clean, this time, the quantity field. Now, something else that I'm noticing in our dataset is the customer name field. So as you can see here, sometimes, again, in this field, there is a capital letters, sometimes is lowercase, and so I want to keep the capital letter for the name and surname. So let's try to work on this one. So let me just paste this comment here. So I'm gonna do clean the customer name field. So let me actually grab this query just so I start with something. So I'm going to select the customer name, and the new column will be a clean customer name. So that's what I'm doing here. And instead of the case statement, what I'm going to do for this new column, I'm going to use this function here, which is called initCap. And then I'm going to add here the customer name, close brackets. Let me re-add as, but also I don't want to finish it here because I noticed that there is some null customer name. So I also want to make sure that we do this transformation only where the customer name is not null. So let's see if this is working as expected. Okay, so I think my function is wrong, so let me actually try this one. Yeah, it should be the one. Okay, and so what you see here is that with this function initCap in Google BigQuery, I clean this full name perfectly. I also wanted to show you that even if the this Sarah Thompson is all capital letter, that will also be transformed in a proper way. So that's working pretty well. We also have the null that remains null, so that's perfect as well. Now the other stuff, so let me go back and selecting the raw data. So that's remember the first line that we have in here. The other thing that I want to show you, and here we are going a bit more advanced because I want to show an example where I'm going to use a window function, which is a bit of a more advanced topic in SQL, but very common, for example, even on interviews as well. I want to see if there are some duplicated orders in this table. So how there are obviously many approaches to do this, but for example, what I can see is that this John Smith, it seems that there is a few orders from this person. So from the same customer name, same email, and actually the product that he ordered is the same. So maybe like my approach could be, okay, if I see, I'm assuming that the same person, the same customer with the same email, it's not possible that this person order exactly the same product, so that might be a mistake. If this is my assumption, then obviously I want to find a way to clean this error. So let me add another comment here. So let's do this time, I'm gonna do remove, let's call it remove duplicated orders. Okay, so this is what I want to do. And so what I'm going to do is, as always, let me grab something from the top. So I have a list base, and in this case, I'm going to do a select star from our table. Now, the approach that I'm going to use is that I want to identify those columns where we have a match based on customer name, email, and also product name. So in case I have the same customer name, email, and product name, I consider that to be a duplicated order. And basically, I want to identify those and only keep the first item of those that are duplicated and remove the other ones. So that's kind of the logic that I want to use for, in this case, to clean the data. And so the way to do this is I'm going to do a comma here, and then in the other line, I need to basically use this window function called row number. this one here. Whenever I use a window function, we need to add the over. So that's something that we need to add in here. And then in parentheses, follow me here because I need to basically group our data set based on the columns that I just mentioned. So I'm going to do a partition by, and then in here, we said that we care about the email. That is not the same. So in this case, I just want to standardize the emails. So I use a lower email. I also want to check the product name. So again, I standardize the product name using lower, because as we see, there is an Apple Watch this way and also all lowercase. And I think in this case, actually, I'm not going to use the customer name. I think for now, I'm fine by using only email and product name to check duplicates. So that's what I'm going to do with this partition. And I also want to order this partition by the order ID. So that's exactly what I'm doing with this function here. And I'm going to call this new row that I created with the window function. I'm going to call it RN, which stands for row number. So let me remove actually this one here. Let me try to see if this is working for now. Okay, I've added an extra column, comma here. So let me remove that and rerun it. Okay, so let's see if this is working as expected. So basically what you see here is this new column that I created with this window function, which is called row number. So I want to check the instances where we have 1 and 2. So let me show you what's happening in this 2 here. So basically, for this 2, we have the same email and also the same product name. In this case, I lower, so that's why you will see the same one. And this is exactly the result of my window function, is that it returns me 1, and then the second is basically telling me, okay, there is a duplicated here. Based on my condition, which are email and product name, we found a duplicated, which indicated with this number 2. There are some other instances. Oh, actually here we have 1, 2, 3. So I think we found actually 3 instances of the same email. So John Smith and then same product name. So yeah, I think this is working as expected. And so now if I want to select only the instances where we have the 1, right, because we want to remove the 2 and 3 and the other duplicated fields as well, what I'm going to do is simply do another select statement at the top. So I'm going to do a select star from, and then my table will be this kind of a new table that I created. So I'm going to close the brackets here, and then I'm going to add the where condition at the very end of our new select statement, and I'm going to do where Rn is equal to 1, right? Because we only want the instances where we have the 1, and we want to exclude all the rest because we know that those are duplicates. So if I now run this one here, as you can see, I can check again the Rn, and I only have 1 as my instances, and this is kind of the query where we basically made sure that we removed all the duplicates. And so if I'm happy with this step as well, now I can show you a query where basically we select the final clean data, right? Because with this queries here, we're not editing the row table that we have. And so, if I identify some data quality issues and I clean them, then maybe in my next queries, when I start doing some data analysis, I want to select, all data from my clean version of my table. And so here, I'm just going to paste the whole final kind of queries that we have used together. So my final clean data, I actually use a CTE here. So I'm going to call the our final data clean data, and so I start my query with the with clean data. And my clean data, how I define this clean data, I basically select our columns. So I select the order ID, and we haven't touched the order ID, so I just select the order ID. Clean customer name, I basically apply the customer name init cap that we applied before. Email, we haven't touched it. And then, order status, product name, these are the stuff that we worked on together. I also, this is kind of our first CTE with the clean data. And then also I want to apply this step of deduplicating the data. And so that's where I reapply our window function that I just showed you before. So this is going to be called deduplicated data. And then our final select statement will be select star from the deduplicated data where Rn is equal to 1. And so if I run this whole query here, this is my final table with clean data. And again, I can also, if I want to query stuff from this table here, obviously I can continue my CTE. And so, for example, call this like final table, like something like this. So I put a comma here, final table as, and then I open and close brackets in here. I created this table called final table. This will be my deduplicated data, so clean version. And then now that I have everything defined, I can do a select statement here. So select, all from our final table. And again, I can run all of this query here. And this will give me the final data. And again, if I want to do analysis on the final table, then I can, obviously, instead of doing the asterisk, doing any sort of analysis that I prefer. And there you have it, an end-to-end data cleaning process that you can replicate using SQL and also using Google BigQuery, which is a database that is used in many companies out there. You can definitely apply all the techniques that we see today in your own projects or even in your work, in case you're already working with data. And as I mentioned at the start, if you want to go deeper into the skill set and learn more about Excel, SQL, Tableau, Python, and also building your own AI agents, make sure to check out my Analytics and Automation Academy from the link in description. I will also leave here another video that I made, this time on a tutorial for a end-to-end SQL project that you can use again to revisit some of your SQL skills. And obviously you can replicate that project and add it to your portfolio in case you want to showcase it to recruiters and hiring managers. As always, thank you for watching and subscribe to my channel so that I can help you even further in the next videos, and enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao for now and see you in the next one.